Rob.
What's up?
I've got a box for you today.
What's better than one color in a gemstone? All the colors. At least two.
At least two or more.
What do we have, glass? Oh.
Kind of close in a way.
Jeez.
I love looking at it every time.
Oh my gosh. This is it's heavy. But we've got some other stuff, so let's pull it all out. Oh, I love this guy. This one's cool.
They're all kind of cool.
Well, they're all super cool because they're all opal with play of color abounding.
Side note, the back side, it kind of looks like the swirl on Jupiter with all of its layers. Like the
yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Well, so this one's cool because it's got just like a very subtle play of color, but like a milky white and then pink sort of body color, but it's been polished super nice. What I like about this guy is that the play of color is really subtle, but when you go in like sideways, it just lights up like a sunset.
So kind of like the general breakdown of what opal is just a bunch of, small, tiny silica spheres that are kind of clumped together.
Opal forms when silica-rich water seeps underground and it deposits all of these minerals, including the silica spheres that you were talking about, in the ground, sort of just stack up on each other in various sizes and orientations, which is what lends the play of color. So the light goes in and it comes out completely differently, resulting in different colors.
What we have here on the table is precious opal, which gives all of these lovely and vibrant colors. At the very top, we have like all of these different colors going on with the precious opal that is in this piece. And then like the further you go down, it kind of becomes like more of a common opal.
And the hue changes as well.
I guess how this one was formed was mostly in layers as it was deposited. Because they're just so nice.
It definitely just
uniform
looks
layers.
Stacked. Yeah. You don't see that a lot, I don't think, or I haven't seen much of that.
This piece is a little bit different.
Cool.
So this is old petrified wood, but part of it has been replaced with opal.
That's so cool.
Which has like these little teeny bits of opal kind of in there. It didn't replace like the entire thing.
And the fact that it's precious opal as well is really remarkable. I remember the first time I saw this piece, I didn't know that opal could replace organic material in a fossil. You can get like fossilized shells that have been replaced with opal, fossilized bone, fossilized wood. Basically anything that can become a fossil potentially can be replaced with opal. So most fossils, when they are being fossilized, are replaced with like a more common mineral. This fossil was replaced by silica spheres that were arranged in such a way that it gave this petrified wood opalescent play of color, which is so cool.
Rob, are you ready for the next box?
Yeah, I am.
I'm gonna hold this.
Okay, I'll take these.
So.
Why are you petting it like a cat?
So smooth.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Smooth.
Brittany's over here stimming. Woo! I've seen these guys before, but they're always spectacular. Oh, man.
I could be
and if you thought there's not enough colors in that, I see at most 2. Think again.
Think again.
We got at least 3, maybe even 4 in this big slice. This, if I had to stake my gemological accreditation to it, I'd say this is fluorite. For sure, one of my favorite minerals for its colors, for its color zoning, for the myriad colors it can come in, for its different crystal habits. I've never seen anything like it. Really, the only downside in my mind is that it's a 4 on the hardness scale.
Yeah, the low hardness of
that's
fluorite.
it.
And it's perfect cleavage in 4
And it also just wants to split up. It just wants to break. There's just awesome banding on this. We've got a yellow band in the middle. There's like a bluish green, a greenish blue, full-on purple, and then some more of the greenish blue down at the bottom. And the bands have bands within them. So fluorite is what we call allochromatic, which means that in its chemical composition, there is no element intrinsic to fluorite that gives it its color. What that means is fluorite in its purest form has no inherent color. It's colorless. What this also means is that any impurities, trace elements, irradiation naturally during its formation process can all lend color to fluorite, which means that it can pretty much form in whatever color is possible, which is sick. And that's why you get banded colors here. And they sort of tell a story of the formation process of fluorite. Like, oh, these elements were introduced for 30,000 years during the formation, and then this band is when radiation happened.
The most common color for fluorite is purple, so we have these really nice purple bands. A lot of times the purple color is compared to kind of like the same color as amethyst.
Very similar. It's a great beginner collector's mineral for sure because of its variety in color, variety in habit, and it is widely available. And because of that, it's relatively inexpensive as well. For how it looks and how it comes, it's a no-brainer collector's piece for me. You could have a whole collection that was just fluorite. All right, Brittany, let's get to the next box.
Sounds great. You'll be familiar with this, well, I guess you are familiar with the box itself, but what's inside
I know
the
these
box.
boxes.
They're good boxes.
I don't know what's in the boxes though. Yes, I do.
He now knows what's
Classic.
in the box.
Classic. You couldn't do a multicolored gems episode without tourmaline. We were talking about fluorite just now. Tourmaline can also come in a variety of colors. These all pretty much look watermelon.
What I think is my favorite thing about tourmaline is like the different ways color can form on tourmaline.
Yeah.
So we have kind of like color zoning in tourmaline where it's like right in the middle and then it has the outer layer of like a different color, which is very typical for watermelon tourmaline.
Like a slice of watermelon. You got the green rind and the pink center.
Watermelon.
Juicy.
And then you have like kind of like typical like when you see different colors in a mineral where it's kind of like layered in a way, especially the fluorite that we had just seen, where it's like, here's all these colors in these layers. And if it's like two colors, it's like known as bicolor. It's just really neat seeing that you could have color this way, or if you have color this way.
I like the green, but I like that this is bordering on blue. Yeah, and then the way it sort of contrasts with this sort of like rubellite middle piece is, I really like it. It's like a piece of candy almost.
So tourmaline is a type of silicate known as a ring silicate. And so kind of what a ring silicate, as the name implies, is that the placement of how the atoms in the tourmaline are kind of formed are in a ring, which kind of gives it a unique aspect to it of when it has these different colors that it's able to form, you know, color in the middle and then a different color on the outer edge because of that ring structure.
It's lovingly known as the trash can mineral.
Yeah.
Because just about every element under the sun can weasel its way into tourmaline. Specimen to specimen, the chemical formula for a tourmaline crystal is just alphabet soup.
I would say the more elements you have to a chemical composition, the more it can be replaced with a lot of similarly sized elements / atoms, which gives tourmaline a lot of different colors.
Yeah.
Rob, what if I told you that not only do we have one box next, we have 2 boxes next?
I would straight up leave. I wouldn't know how to handle that news.
Well,
so please don't give anything surprising to me like that.
You can either maybe open simultaneously
1,
or
2,
at the same time.
3.
But like I know what's in the box.
Oh,
now you gotta look in this box.
Wow! Yeah, this guy looks like he could put a hole in your tires. What's the story behind this guy?
So we have kind of a coating of a certain mineral on top of calcite.
It looks like that. Okay, I was wondering if it was calcite, but I've never seen it in this outfit before. So new clothes, new threads, new drip for the calcite. So it's coated in a very thin layer of what I presume to be goethite.
So you were very close. So the coating is actually chalcopyrite. The thin layer of chalcopyrite. After a while, when chalcopyrite is oxidized, it has the chance to become iridescent.
It did.
And it did.
It took that opportunity.
It sure did. It's almost if you had like a thin layer of Elmer's glue and just kind of like rubbed it on the calcite and got some glitter and went.
And not every crystal face is covered, and not every like little crevice is covered either.
What we have here is mainly goethite as the base of the gemstone. People in like the geology community and mineral community, I suppose, are kind of like iffy on the part of when goethite is iridescent whether it's actual, like, is this a whole different new mineral, or is it just kind of like an in-between of the process of that's happening?
Yeah, the little hair splitting process never ends.
Yeah,
in this
so
industry.
chemically it's a little complicated in that regard, but to some of the iridescent goethite is known as turgite. Kind of like where that disparity of like the discussion is, whether, you know, like, is this kind of like similar rainbow part of the goethite similar to this like very sheen like
almost
goethite.
Metallic actually.
It is quite metallic, which is,
and it's
great.
Pretty heavy. It's hefty, dense.
Yeah, well, that's just kind of the way goethite is, because it's just a lot of.
It's dense. It's a dense boy.
But they're both iridescent, which is the main part. So very multicolorful.
Slightly, and I'd say more so over here.
Yeah, I would say this is more rainbow-like.
Yeah, I'd say
how it is,
it's
and
a
then that's
thin
just
band,
like.
but there are more colors there in a very small location.
This piece in particular is kind of neat. Or like even if you ignore the color, if you look at the side, you can see kind of like the hard outline of iron kind of like weaving into it. I mean, there's a lot of iron in goethite anyway, but like you can see those weird layers that are going on in it.
Who goes first?
Who goes second? Oh. It took a moment.
Woo! Check that out.
And to accompany that.
Oh my God.
Is this bad boy.
Oh my God. Wait, there's this little guy. Oh, sick.
So Robert, what we got?
Ammolite.
And ammonite. I got the part that I like, which is fossil.
Another
and then you
Pokemon.
have shiny fossil. That is true.
Ammolite is, like you said, a fossil. It's once was a living critter, a cephalopod.
So what Robert has is ammolite. It's kind of like a gem quality version of ammonite. Ammolite comes mainly from Alberta, Canada. So why only Alberta, Canada? It's because of how the layering of the sediment kind of occurred there, as well as volcanic event. Huzzah. It wasn't the kind of lava itself, but the ash following it. There was a lot of ash that took place during this volcanic event. The layers of ash, along with the minerals in that area, as well as the abundant ammonites that were in that area. Chemical magic happened.
Cool.
In that area.
I love that. And this is very rare.
It is very rare. I mean, it's technically like a one locality. The color that we see is iridescence, so we have more iridescence going on. A lot of that comes from the aragonite, initially from the ammolite shell. And the way how the light interacts with the aragonite gives a lot of these different colors. I think the main colors for ammolite is mainly red and green. If you're lucky, you can have the other colors besides red and green. Like I think the piece that you have has more blue in it. So if you ever come across an ammolite that has all of the colors of the rainbow, that is really rare. And there's actually some out there that can like chromatically shift in color, but if you like rotate it, you can see the colors changing.
That's really cool.
And that's super rare. And speaking of rarity, Robert, do you want to see something even cooler?
I don't know how that's possible, but yeah, I'm always down.
We got a box.
Yeah.
It's a big box.
Bubble wrap.
Don't pop on the bubble wrap.
Now I get the box. I understand the box. Jeez, it's like a hubcap. This is impossible.
It's not impossible, Robert. It's right there.
That is unbelievable.
Crazy, huh?
And it's huge. I can't even.
It's huge.
What is this worth?
And this ammonite, I would say it was actually bigger before in the past. So with most fossils, there's a lot of pressure that goes along with that. So especially if you look at the bottom of this ammonite.
Oh, down here.
Where it's a little thicker, and then you look at the top of the ammonite is very thin. So after a lot of time and
Just
pressure,
like a plate.
these fossils and once living organisms get squished.
I mean, I was talking up the opalized wood earlier, but this is maybe a little cooler.
I mean, so like you can find a lot of petrified wood in places. There's not a lot of places where you can get ammolite in especially this large of a piece.
Okay, so we've got a ton of cool stuff on the table, but do you have a favorite?
I mean, of course I have a favorite, but do you have a favorite, Rob?
Yes, and the uniqueness and the color of it are what really draw me to it. Plus, I think our photographers could get some really awesome shots of the crevices and crannies in here. So I think this is worth taking a closer look at. Let's take a closer look.
Let's take a closer look.
Well, Brittany, thank you for inviting me onto this episode. It lived up to the hype for sure. We've got loads of colors in these gems and minerals. I can't believe I had to just pick. I had a hard time not picking the wood. I really love this guy. Yeah.
I mean, it is a very fun piece.
I think it's super cool. I love fossilization, and then this is like, if that's a Pokemon, you know, this is a shiny Pokemon. I think opalized fossils are just like shiny, you know, shiny versions. But anyways, thank you so much for having me on. I had a great time being here today. I hope you guys had a fun time watching. And if you did, let us know down in the comments and let us know what you want to see next. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, ring the bell so you don't miss out on our future videos.
Thanks for watching.